This is Cosmo Royale telling you to get ready for Gazbot and the Big Dog Defender. Action activate!
Hey, what's up? I am Gazbot Skulovich, here for Action Activate, and with me, as always, is the big dog Magna Defender. But in between us, sir, introduce yourself, please.
What's up, guys? Colin K. Bass here from the Power Rangers Extended Universe, here with two guys I love dearly, but I had to hop on and defend/explain myself after I watched your guys' last review.
Hey, happy to have you.
The specific review you're speaking of, we've done several of your work because we are fans. And as we always say, when we nitpick, it's because we care. And we also are human and make mistakes. But specifically, Shattered Past Episode 5.
Yes, now, that's correct.
I'm going to have to jump off, unfortunately. So it's mostly going to be the two of you. But I will say one mistake I know I made that I realized later was I said something about David Yost's character. And like, what's going on with him? And then I realized later, I think he was from Bloodlines of the Grid, which is technically connected, but was he not in Shattered Past? Did I make that mistake?
No, David Yost is in Rise of the Ninja.
Rise of the Ninja, okay.
We did feature him in our intro where we're talking about timelines and the multiverse and all these different things. So you're not wrong. He just
I was wrong, and that he's.
But you're not right, Gaz.
Yeah.
You're not right.
All right. Well, like I said, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, he debuted in Rise, and that's where, if everything goes according to plan, you weren't wrong about some stuff. How like, hey, if we can take you from one episode, we'll take you, right? We can ride around everything else. But he debuted in Rise, and then we were just doing that flex, like, hey, we got Billy,
right?
And we did that in Shattered Past because that's all about timelines and multiverse and everything like that.
Sure.
So,
like
Big Dog said.
Having him for a moment in the intro makes perfect sense. But I was remembering that scene, that setup scene, and I'm like, wait, is that another villain setup? Big Dog, I think you're a skosh loud.
Am I less loud now?
No, you're just a hair louder than both of us. So just maybe, I don't know, do something with your throat.
Quietly like this.
But as I said, I am going to hop off in a second. So Colin, is there anything you wanted to complain or correct me specifically about before I go so that you have a chance to, vent?
No. There's nothing, and that's what I was telling you guys. I'm not gonna be like, hey, you said this. I just want to explain. One thing that I will say is the payoffs, right? There's a part of me that's like, I want to do the payoffs for everything possible. Sometimes they're just not possible. But I will say one thing that made me laugh was the Magna Defender sword, right? Do you guys think that I would pay that much money and have that made to not bring it back again?
Oh, absolutely not. That's why when I saw that it wasn't like a previously released like Bandai item or a Hasbro item, I'm like, oh, that's for sure coming back.
Yeah.
I figured if nothing else, it would be part of Sam O'Neill's arsenal, but that's not the same as making a whole Magna Defender story,
Yeah, definitely. So no, again, not trying to nitpick your nitpicking. I'm just saying that there's things that I'll throw in and I'll be like, well, I hope I can finish that off later. But that is one that I have a full plan for. I have the casting done. The suit is being made. I don't know what to spoil and what not to spoil.
Can you say who made the sword and or suit, or do you not want to get into that?
Yes. Jake Korup, one of our unsung heroes. He's played a lot of characters with his face covered. He was the Time Hunter. He was the evil Tommy. He's been Draken in Judge Dredd versus Mandalorian. I shot him in the head. Like he deserves his shout out for all the props he's made. So that's the maker of it, and we have a plan for that character who gets the sword, and I as much as I would love to use it, I want to do kind of like a Mandalorian thing where he doesn't really know how to use it,
Right.
And then on top of that, I'll tell you this before you leave, Gazbot, is we filmed as much as we could in that set with Russell so that we had future footage for him.
So did you only have him for one day?
We had him for one day, but I think I might have charmed him a little bit because we still text and talk about grabbing a beer and stuff. So I wouldn't close it completely on that, but just in case he's busy or because he really liked the episode, but just in case he's busy, I do have a bow on that storyline.
Nice. That's awesome. And I want that to be true for every single thing we said, but I understand that reality won't happen that way. But yeah.
Right.
But it is funny that was like, because the set and everything, I'm like, that set's amazing. And like, it looks to me like it was like 90% like physical. Is that accurate?
Yeah, the only thing that was green screen was the space on the window with the frost around it. That was a very talented Jerry Cotto. He made that space, and it was a big green screen. I'm like looking out the window. It's just green. But everything else was practical, yeah.
That's fantastic. And if some or all of that gets reused from a practical production standpoint, that's great. But also from a storyline fan kind of thing, that's awesome.
The only times we've ever really like rented a set is when we have returning Legacy Rangers because we want them to come back. Sure. But if they don't, I kind of always have like a backup plan. Nice. When it comes to Rise, though, not to like put a negative spin on it, Will moved across the country. Jessica moved to somewhere I'm not supposed to say, and David was only there because of Will and Jessica. So in a perfect world, we do a Ranger Legacy, have everyone come out and continue the story. But for right now, it's not really a priority. We want to focus on Bloodline and finish Shattered Past.
So understandable if people move, what are you going to do? But and maybe this is too inside baseball, but if David came on from them, but he came on, he met you and stuff, isn't it possible he would come back even if they weren't there? Or
it's very possible, but then there's all those rumors going around that he's coming back for the 30th season, so I don't really know. But we still have, like I said, I have a backup plan, and I even have a backup plan for Rise. Luckily, we have the really talented Kira Omens, who is our Purple Wolf Ranger. But
I will say I don't hate her, even though clearly, that should have been me, but that's fine. I mean, I got the tattoo in preparation. I can't see it. But that's fine. That's fine.
Well, we have a backup plan, but for right now, we're just kind of, I think because of amazing circumstances with these legendary Rangers, we spread ourselves a little too thin. And now we're focusing on Bloodline and Shattered Past. And Bloodline's premieres June 4th, so it's really soon. Close, and then Shattered Past, we're doing the finale. And I know you guys mentioned
I was shocked that there's only one more episode.
I know. So it's a lot of setup, but I promise you it's all going to pay off. And the thing is, I've announced this as like kind of like catty, like kind of like around the corner. But we're going to do a sequel series called Omega Force, where it's everything you've watched has led to Sam building this team. And who will they go against? I can't tell you. But everything that we've done.
That I like to hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah. But then you like see all your favorite characters in Omega.
Yeah, because like how much can they do in one episode? But if it's just sort of ending this story and then that does make me feel a lot better.
Yeah, just from kind of what you were saying from the behind the scenes standpoint, it seems like a thing of kind of like you said, you got everybody you could and utilize them where you could, and then from here you're like, okay, before we go into this new series and kind of dive into that, who is Sting right here and who do we have for multiple episodes in a row kind of thing? Because, like, obviously, when you build a team, either, a fantasy comic book team in your head or obviously something more real like this, it's like, well, here's who I have in mind. Oh, that person moved. Okay, well, we're going to slot in this other option and nobody knows but me. So it'll bum me out, but everybody else will be like, oh, this team's great. I can come up with it. Well,
yeah.
And I also do appreciate, and I think I said this, that, if I was you and I had an opportunity to use any of these legendary actors, even if it was for an afternoon and it might not 100% make sense, I would, of course, jump on it too. So I get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But trust me, the Power Rangers nerd and the filmmaker and the writer in me wants to close all these stories off. And and another thing I want to say before you go, Gaz, is the comic books does not tell anything that you're missing in the show. Ray is a very talented writer and he clears things with me, but it's always in the future, in the past, it really doesn't affect us. It just enhances the storyline. So things that you were mentioning, like the off-screen stuff, that's either going to stay off-screen or we are going to go back to it or we're going to explain it. But comics are just like icing on the cake. That's
I mean, that's good. And I believe that's how it should be, though not everyone agrees with what I say, obviously. But and I keep saying before I go, but I might be able to stay longer than I thought because obviously it's been a while. But it's kind of skipping to the end of episode 5. One of the things that we did comment on, which you wonder, was when Sam was talking to the Omega Pink. I'm forgetting her name, her character name. What was it?
Rain.
Rain.
Oh, you just said it. Thank you. We both kind of were like, what did they go through exactly? Except for that one little thing, because they were like really high, like, and we did all this stuff, and like, so that's kind of what we're thinking. Like, is this somewhere else? So like, was there supposed to be more, and you had to cut it short, or am I just expecting more of the dialogue, or am I just being a jerk? Or
no, you're not. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. My reason's very, very practical. Our hair got too long, and her hair changed. My hair was too long. I was freshly shaven. We just looked way too different than the last scene. Right. So I added that one line. And then I do have some Ranger weapons that we never really accessed. So if we do, I'm not going to like just pull it out. It's going to be like, wait, I have remember when we did this?
Okay.
But so then that line was only added because we looked so different than the last scene. Right. I was clean shaven, long hair. She got her hair cut to here, so I had to add it. But yeah, great.
Well, then that's awesome, because that is one of the big complaints we make for Power, Hasbro Saban Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. We often say like, and so you did it. Good job. You did the thing we always say is like, hey, this doesn't quite make sense. Maybe they didn't have time to shoot it. Maybe they didn't have the budget to shoot it. Why don't they just have a line of dialogue explaining it? And so I guess that's what you did. And so good job. But we both did think we were missing some other piece of the puzzle that was out there in a comic or something. But
yeah, I try to make the comics just kind of add to the story. Lots of Megazords, things we can't do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that scene was literally there because we just looked so different. I was like, we need to say something. And I think I wrote it the day of because we both looked so different.
That's awesome.
So with kind of that in mind, another thing, as long as Gaz can say, that we talked about was the kind of end and about Timeline Zero. So obviously spoiler free, because you're like, well, in episode 6 you're going to look like an idiot. But
if anybody isn't caught up, they shouldn't be watching this interview first of all. But go ahead.
But just kind of our misunderstanding most likely of killing versus Timeline Zero versus that whole kind of ordeal.
Yeah, you guys are awesome for bringing this up. So the morality of it all, right?
Yeah.
So when I was writing it, I was like, man, Sam must be fed up. He's like been kind of happy-go-lucky for 4 episodes, but I'm sure it's wearing on him. So going from breaking the rules to Timeline Zero, and they're all like, Timeline Zero, it's so bad. Why are you doing it? And then Sam goes, for now. So it's not that bad, right? He's breaking the rules a little bit, but he's not going to leave them in there. It's for now because these containment cards are trouble. So boom, for now. But the morality of it all is just like, I'm sick of Draken. I want to kill this guy. Now that's bad. So there wasn't like the back and forth that you guys brought up. It was more like, this is just another containment card and it sucks for them, but at least they're not breaking out. But yeah, I'm sick of this Draken guy. I gotta kill him. Like that's where it goes dark. So it wasn't the back and forth.
Okay, so
that helps.
Just for ultra clarity, everybody who isn't Draken will go into Timeline Zero temporarily. That's the plan anyway. But Draken, Sam wants to literally kill or destroy, as the Power Rangers would say.
Well, ideally, it would be containment cards. But then we see Psycho Black steal Psycho Green's card. Oh, and another thing about the dagger.
Yes.
If you guys remember in Ep 4, Landon took the daggers, like, who needs Omega access? Had it on his side. Yeah. Psycho Black charges through, steals both things.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Ninja Steel.
I did. I 100% missed it. So yeah.
That's what I said.
And then, so ideally, he'd lock him, containment mode. But then that's still, he just learned that doesn't even work because someone could just steal that. So Timeline Zero for now for them because these psychos keep causing problems. And then I think that Sam's just so fed up with losing Rain, who obviously he's starting to have feelings for. He got split up from his team, who have become brothers throughout all of this. And then
that was one of the hardest part about that episode is like, get the team back together.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted too. And at the end of Ep 4, it was really like more BTS stuff. I was supposed to fight Draken alone. And then the DJ's like, hey, I'm about to get my suit. And I was like, dude, that'd be really cool to get us who butt heads to go together.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, that doesn't make sense for us to stick together and have Landon off on his side. Man, what if we all get split up in time and go through different timelines? And I as a viewer, I want to see the time trio stick together. Yeah. But as a writer, I'm like, man, that'd be kind of exciting. Like right when they get together, they take down Psycho Green. What if we split them up and they have to learn their own lessons and, grow like that way? So then coming back for Ep 5, I thought the ultimate payoff was like, we're back and we already know how to work as a team. Artillery mode.
That was cool, the artillery mode.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have a whole episode of us 3 just kicking ass, but scheduling and different things. I mean, Dade's off solving crimes with Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
DJ's on like General Hospital. So I had to like really strategically write this whole thing. But that I did want to have them split up because I thought it'd be interesting to do the timelines for each person and have them all learn and grow in each timeline.
That makes sense. I think some of the critiques or questions or criticisms or whatever you call it, especially for this episode, come from, and this is no fault of yours because like everything you just explained, it takes, and I don't mean this as a negative, but it's just a fact. It takes so long between episodes.
It
And there's
does.
all these different series. And so if you're reading comics, they're coming out once a month. If you're watching a show, it's coming out once a week. And so it's like, it takes so long that you finally get a new episode and you're like, oh, they're still not together. You know, like, so like anything like that feels so much worse, quote unquote. So, but I think when it's done and people could just watch it like a movie, it's going to work a lot better.
Yeah, and that's there's going to be some personnel changes when it comes to Ep6. There were some issues. I'm not going to go negative at all, but I learned a lot too on the post-production side of things. So I really think
at this point you're still learning. I figured you'd know everything at this point.
I guess there's how do I say it? There's some things that I keep giving another chance that I just shouldn't. So we found out a really good team towards the end of this episode, and we're going to make sure that you know stays true. And then in Ep6, in the post-production side of things, we really figured out what works and what doesn't work.
Did you fire the person who put that bulldozer in front of the Ninja Academy? Is that that would make me very happy.
So that clip, I got so much shit from on our team when we were watching it, and I was like, okay, just watch the Ninja Storm intro though. When they're on the mountain, it looks so cheesy, and I'm like, compare that to that. It's like it's kind of an homage to the show. But yeah, the bulldozer going. I liked it though. It reminded me of how cheesy the Ninja Storm.
If that's what you're going for, then kudos. But I took it at face value and was like,
you weren't alone.
Okay.
Jazzy was not alone. I had to go, just look, it's cool. But I also wanted to show, because who knows if we're ever going to finish First Ninja, to be real. And I also wanted to show, like, hey, Jackson's still out there killing it. He's starting school. But no, we didn't fire him. He was a really loyal fan that made that for us.
And I was kidding. I don't really revel in you firing anybody. Just to be clear, I'm not a monster.
Yeah, but then while 5 was in production, we were still knocking out the Ninja Turtles and Bloodline and different things like that, trying to stay busy. But man, post-production is just a beast, and I think I figured out how to tackle it for Ep6.
I'm gonna ask one more question, and then I'm gonna step away and let Big Dog talk your ear off. And this is a little bit personal, so if you don't want to, but you talked about some of the other actors and the jobs they're doing and stuff. And I know you've done some modeling and other things. But you seem to be working on so many series. I guess what I'm getting at is, without asking about your personal finances, like, is this your full-time job, or do you have other stuff going on to help support this? Because it feels like it's your full-time job.
Yeah, I think my job is a big, giant umbrella. I came into NerdBot just doing the acting and writing, and then it's kind of translated into marketing, social media presence, the merch store. So it's like my main focus is NerdBot and everything that's under it. But like if the choice was, Colin, go run this convention or go be a Power Ranger, it'll be go run a convention. Right. But I do have like side gigs going on. I did some extra work for the new Jordan Peele movie, and I have like social media gigs for other costume companies and things like that. But
you're not like working at Walmart on the side or something.
No, I'm lucky enough where I'm doing what I love full time, and it's just a lot of different things at once. Like I told you guys, I had to meet with the fire marshal for Anime Riverside today, or some days I'm doing sales sheets for our merch store, and then other days I'm a Power Ranger, but it all comes from the NerdBot umbrella.
Yeah, but once a Power Ranger, always a Power Ranger. So when you're doing those sales sheets, aren't you still kind of,
Well, I always say there'll be days like this, and I'm on the Excel spreadsheet, and then I'm like, there are days where I'm kicking Draken ass or getting my ass kicked. It's great. So I take both the positives and the negatives. And I was at a desk job for 6 years doing Star Wars product development. Sounds way cooler than it is. Okay. And there's days where I'm driving to LA and I'm like, man, this is so much better than my old job.
Right. That's awesome.
The fact that you could say you enjoy LA traffic, you're the only person I've ever met that said that they smiled through that. So that's
I do some of my best writing in the traffic. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And I'll call DJ. I'm like, what do you think, dude?
All right, I'm gonna step away. Big Dog, text me when you guys are getting ready to be done. And I'll come close it out.
Will do.
Thanks for coming on, Colin. Bye, everybody.
Talk to you later, man. So one thing, just for people who are a little bit newer to kind of Shattered Past, maybe that's their first foray into the Power Rangers extended universe. How does the kind of hierarchy of previous umbrellas go? I know there was Nerdbot and Crimson Vision and also kind of similar but different Unworthy. So how does everything kind of fit so people know where to look to catch up on everything if they haven't?
Well, shout out to Jordan from Unworthy. He's the whole reason I even started doing this. I saw episode 1 of Unworthy at Morphicon 2018, and I was like, I want to do something like that. So shout out to him. And we have some connections via, multiverse timelines and everything. But when it comes to the extended universe, First Ninja came first. There's 2 episodes of that. And then we connect it to Rise of the Ninja, which it has William Shufelt, Jessica Rae, David Yost. And then Shattered Past goes like this, timey-wimey stuff. It goes through all of it. And I like trying to close up storylines within Shattered Past because it allows me to. And then Bloodline's just its own beast. It connects to us, but it's past. It's further in the future than Shattered Past, which is why the Sam I play has already lived everything. But through timeline manipulation, your memory's a little foggy. That's why I wasn't like, oh, hey, TK, what's up, man? So the timeline on this, it goes, First Ninja's like the 90s. Rise of the Ninja is currently like 2021, 2022. Shattered Past is all over the place. And then Bloodline's in the future. So all 4 of those do connect. And the real ones know a lot of the connection is between DJ and me. We exist in all of those kind of in some sort of way. So that's the order of them, but you could really watch them in any order and you'll just kind of notice recurring characters or themes.
So one thing, since you brought up the timey-wimey aspect, obviously I'm sure you're familiar with Doctor Who and a fan yourself. When you came up with kind of the dynamic for TK and Sam, was it very Dr. River Song? Is that kind of what you were thinking when you wanted to see that dynamic? Or was it just like, this is cool?
I love telling this story. DJ shows up for filming. I didn't know if he was or not. It was kind of like up in the air. This guy shows up for filming, goes totally off script and just like hates my character. He's just like, baby Omega, we're not friends. I don't like you. And then you can see it in the actual scene. It's Dave like smirking, looking at me, and I'm like, what is that? So I love DJ. He's a brother to me, but he just rolls up with this attitude. And I think that he kind of had that idea for Bloodline, that he was going to hate this guy because I'm pursuing him in Bloodline. So no, my plan was like, he'd kind of be a straight-laced dude like Landon. They'd always be like, Sam, no. But DJ just rolls up and just hates me already. And it worked out really well. Then us 3 kind of really figured our characters out in the cave scene of Ep 4.
With kind of, as you said, we're looking at Shattered Past coming to the conclusion and then opening the door to other things. Is there anything that you wanted to do with Shattered Past that either is 100% scrapped or now you're going to try to reinterpret some of those things and put them into future projects?
I really want Sam to build his team, and I really want like a 5-Ranger team. We're at 4 right now, and I have plans for the 5th Ranger and even the 6th Ranger. I want them in the finale. If I don't get them in the finale, that'll be the, I guess the big tease at the end or something. Yeah. But I do have a plan for that. As for other things, I think it's just a matter of like the way that I wrote it is like, that could be anyone, the Red Ranger that saves us. Could be Future Sam, could be Bridge, could be Jack, and with these amazing actors that are coming back to reprise their roles, the possibilities are endless. So, but no, nothing like that. I really want like Sam leading a team for whatever this next threat is. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I think that I've been able to do more than I thought I was going to do.
I know you said a lot of kind of why even we're talking today was because, you saw that first episode of Unworthy and it kind of snowballed from there. Is there a point kind of in your creative process where it started like you'd see something and it inspire you, and then now it just kind of turned into you're always continuing to go down your kind of creative kind of wavelength, if you will?
Yeah. There's also just sometimes the fan in me, like what I want to do. We did a Ninja Turtles episode that never went anywhere a few years ago. And then I just had this dream. I wanted to work with the Turtles again. So there's talk about them cameoing in one of our Power Ranger series, which is great. But then I had the idea for found footage. And honestly, it's just because I really wanted to be on screen with Turtles again. Because it's like a kid's dream come true. And, you know, I'm 31 and I'm still like, what's up, Leo? And I give him a hug, but it's my friend in there, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, things definitely inspire me. But there's also things where I'm just like, man, if I was a viewer, I would want to see this. And I think that's a big hook to my writing is like the big nerd, the big fan in me would love to see this happen. So, yes, very inspired by things, but also there's just this part of me that wants to do it because I want to see it.
Okay. One thing, kind of switching gears back, I know you said there were a bunch of things we wanted to talk about for Ep 5. We got through a good chunk of them that I can remember. I don't have a full list of them, but were there any other things that were sticking out that you wanted to clarify or go over again of like, you guys totally got this wrong. How did you not see, you know, XYZ?
Oh, it's just names and stuff, you know, where I'm shouting it at the TV. Nothing
like when
crazy.
Gaz like, what's the Pink Ranger? Rain. Say 4 months, rain.
Yeah, like there's nothing. That's why I like made kind of a joke out of it. I was like, I'm screaming because I love you guys. You guys are awesome. But I was like, man, I got to get on there and defend things. But I know it's confusing because there's 4 different shows all coming out at different times, very randomly, sporadically released. So I get it. But I just wanted to hop on and answer any questions you guys had. But there's nothing where I'm like, I need to defend that. But like I told you guys about the dagger and stuff.
Actually,
now you guys know some BTS stuff, but the main thing is like there's no part of me that's throwing these plot lines out or characters out and I don't want to ever complete them, you know, like, so for the finale, trust me, I got a checklist of everything I need to touch base on where I was like, well, that was a cool tease, but I got to figure it out somehow. So I'll be there and I'm going to try to finish everything, bring back all these characters that people liked, everything like that.
Good. I wanted to take a quick moment. I realized as you were saying that, had a million different comments, so I don't want to ignore people on there. Let's see. So somebody asked, will we see Magna Defender, come about from the Easter egg from episode 5? I don't remember if we talked about it while recording or not.
I think it was while recording. I'm
okay.
Not sure.
Yes.
I think you guys asked me. Yeah. So we have the storyline. We have the actor or actress. I'm going to stay vague. I loved your guys' speculations, by the way. Like my son, or Jess, which is Autumn Tate. I love all those speculations. They were great. But yes, so the Magna Defender sword will be back, and a full-on Magna Defender will be back too, or will debut.
Good clarification there. Just to keep everybody up to speed, somebody wants to know who are the current 4 members of Omega Force.
Yeah, so they haven't met yet, but the plan is for Sam, TK, Landon, and Rain. And then my 5th, I think I'll tell it. I either want, so I have a full pink Mighty Morphin suit. So part of me wants to bring another Pink Ranger. So I think it look cool, white, red, pink, pink. But then the other part of me is like, who knows what's going to happen with Rise? So I'd love to have Kira come in as the Purple Wolf Ranger as our 5th member too. And she's amazing, and we love her, so it'd be really great to have her. But the 5th member's up in the air right now, but those are the options because I'd love another girl on the team.
Yeah, I think personally, whenever I've seen, whether it's in the comics or the shows, a female kind of ranger balance on a team, I always like when it's non-traditional of pink and yellow every time. Like even if one of them's blue or in this case potentially purple, I just love that kind of dynamic shift of like, all right, it's not the same 5 that we see every time. Not that that's necessarily wrong, but like getting to see kind of new spins on that is always nice. Yeah. Nerdbots in the chat, they said, the whole best part of the extended universe, it's got to be your hair.
Thank you. I styled it right before this. So.
And then fan of the show and voice in the background of episode 5, Campbell Cooley. He's watching from the shadows. Thanks again for letting him make a contribution, and he is grateful to you guys for that. So it was awesome to hear him as the Time Hunter. How did, kind of switching gears to that, how did the Time Hunter come about? I mean, obviously, it was a Time Terminator, which is always great to see. What kind of made you have that be another facet of SPD that we haven't seen before?
So I wanted Rain and Sam to get in a fight just for pacing purposes, but I didn't want to waste a Ranger because they would get their asses kicked. Yeah. Then we kind of had a bunch of pieces from different costumes from other shows. And I was like, what if I make like a cyborg time traveler person? And Jake Korup, another one of our, the unsung hero I mentioned, he was down and he fit the suit and he's like 6'3" and he looks badass. And so I just didn't want to waste a Ranger, and I wanted it to be like somewhat of a fair fight, 2-on-1. And that was basically it. It was kind of practicality, scheduling, and I thought it'd be cool to like kind of bring in the monster of the week, so to speak, how Rangers do it. And I didn't want to have it like, oh no, it's the Quantum Ranger, and then we just like get worked. I wanted kind of the monster of the week where we do have to figure a way out. And Sam got his ass whooped all to get that watch. So
I did like that though, where like he went in like, I'm gonna rope a dope this guy and we're gonna win, but it's not gonna be good for me. And then just kind of, took his beating and then they moved on, which I thought was a cool story point. Because a lot of times, especially in Power Rangers, it's like, oh no, we have to, do this. How are we gonna do it? We get a power up and we kind of, see it every time. And this one was, there's no way I'm beating this guy. So while I distract him and get beat, I need you to do some stuff. And I thought that was really cool.
When I was talking to Sean, our director, I was like, okay, Ep 1, Sam's frantic, right? He's running. Ep 2, he's kind of starting to learn. 3, he's getting more confident working with Landon. 4, he's just cocky. He gets it. He learns real quick. He's not that good. And then at the end of 5, that was 5. So at 4, he's getting cocky. Draken whoops him. 5, he's like, okay, I'm not that good. And then during that fight, he's like, does the wink, like he's kind of learning as he goes. And I think around Ep 6, he knows he needs to be the leader that this whole story's been leading to, which is what Rain was saying. It's like, everything you've done, all these things you've gone through has all led you to this point. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really want to lean on 6, where Sam's been the loser. He's been the winner. He's been the cocky guy. And that's what I think is going to make him a great leader for Omega Force.
Yeah, that was one thing I liked. One thing I want to ask as well. Obviously, Shattered Past is wrapping up there. One thing though, before we talked last time, I did a huge binge of Reverse Flash.
Oh,
yeah. And how is it kind of seemingly wrapping up both of those stories that you've been telling for so long around the same time? Was it easier because you're working on both simultaneously? Was it more difficult just because they're at an end, even though, there's never really an ending when it comes to this, right? But you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great question. I guess I never really thought about it. Reverse Flash was, what I like to say, the first time anyone ever watched us. Because I think we talked about it last time. Sean and I did these for years and no one watched, but we just loved doing it. And Reverse Flash with Nerdbot, who thankfully picked it up and let us do 8 episodes and some shorts. And we finally were like, dude, we got to finish this for whatever fans are still waiting for the finale. And I kind of, in my head, was like, I want to finish this because I feel like I've become a different actor and writer and everything. So Reverse Flash was done. I was done filming my part about a year ago. And I felt like a sense of relief. And then for Shattered Past, I feel like it's all just a big prequel, because Sam, we're running constantly. We're rolling away from things. But if everything goes smoothly in Omega Force, it's going to be us running up like the Rangers and knowing, hey, we got to take this guy down. Not like, oh no, it's Draken, and like running. So for me, Reverse Flash did so much for me in my life, and it's going to be really great to close it up. But for Shattered Past, I really feel like it's a prequel, and all these characters are going to become something so much more in Omega Force. So different feelings, but still just like gratifying to really put a bow on these projects we've worked so hard on.
So you think if your Reverse Flash came in contact with the Draken Sam's been running away from, who do you think's going to take it there?
Gotta be Reverse Flash. That guy's ruthless. It'll be one of those things where Draken's going to like this, and then Reverse Flash just like rips out his heart.
Yep. I will say that obviously, the Reverse Flash project started from, I'm sure, your love of the CW show of the Flash, but I haven't kept up, to be honest, with the CW version because it's not that good anymore. I'm just going to say it. But it was so cool, similar to what you've done with Power Rangers, to see it, not even ramping it up to like a full R rating, just giving it a little bit more than somebody higher up's like, you can't do that in an episode. And how much better of a story you can tell when it's like, oh, he's just like straight murdering this guy. He's not like thinking about doing it. It's like, nope, that guy's dead. And, moving on. And I really like what you've done and looking forward to the finale there for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the big hook of what I like to do is untold stories. We And by I mean us and the team. I hate saying I and my, but when I'm writing, it's like, what would I want to see? What are these untold stories? So we just released Qui-Gon Legends on NerdBot. And that's all stuff, as a Star Wars nerd, what I would want to see. So when it comes to Reverse Flash and Power Rangers, why don't they touch a different season every episode, right? They all have the same licenses. In Reverse Flash, why don't they tell a story of what made him this way? So thank you for that. I just was clarifying where I went in my head when writing them.
No, you're good. I mean, with that, I mean, you've done a Star Wars project, you've done multiple Power Ranger projects, you've done a Flash project. Is there something? I mean, you've done your anime comedy shorts. For anybody who hasn't seen them, I just love anytime I'm looking through Instagram and I see you with the Naruto headband and not like a gi. It just every time I'm like, yes, all right, cool. I just love seeing casual. I don't even know what you would call yourself. I don't want to call you a weeb, but like that's the only thing that came to mind. I know it's not true, but nah, I love that. But to the question, I got sidetracked. What is a project that you've been wanting to tackle or a fandom that you have not yet that like is something you would look forward to doing or even, started doing on the back end that we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've touched like our toe in the water for a lot of different fandoms. There's two projects I've been involved with where I just acted in them, and they're X-Men roles. One, I was Cyclops. Cyclops' brother, Alex Summers, and I had a great time, but man, there's this part of me that would love to write something and like really get it going. And so X-Men's my first choice, but dude, I would love to go back to Turtles again. I just have so much fun being Casey Jones. I'm like looking at Leo and he's like, like I love that. So I'd love for something to be Turtles related that's so successful that it's worth doing another episode. So unfortunately, that's what dictates why we do these and why we don't do these. So we really want to grow and expand, but at the same time, like if no one's watching it, what's the point? Right?
Yeah, that's one of those you gotta pull an Avatar, and it's like, I don't know how many people ask for Avatar 2 through 6, but like we have the money, we're making them. So you gotta either everybody loves it and you keep making them, or you eventually 15 years down the road get so successful, you're like, I'm gonna fund it myself. It's fine. I want to do a Turtles project.
Yeah, maybe I'll get my own set of turtles and do a spin-off.
Yeah, you do right before the last Ronin and see how the battle shook out there. Have you read any of that at all or no?
Yeah, we were in talks about doing The Last Ronin as like a live action short. And so I did my research, but I don't know what's going on now. It was more like, could we do this? Because then we only need one dude in one turtle suit. It seemed the most practical option. But it never came of anything. But I love the idea. I love how that character looks. And if we can get anything like that going, I hope Casey Jones is in it.
Yeah, for sure. If there was a Last Ronin-esque kind of story you would do for Power Rangers, other than Sam, who do you think would be kind of the right fit for a kind of Last Ranger that's holding everything down in the extended universe?
That's a great question. First off the top of my head is Dylan from RPM, because he's like half robot. So he'd last a little longer than most people, right? I guess. So, and then also I'd really want to play him, so that's tough too. But Dylan would be my choice, and I think it'd be really cool to exist in the RPM world. And like, okay, yeah, the apocalypse, we survived it, but I'm the last Ranger. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be cool. You touched upon another point of right now you're 2 Rangers deep on your own Colin Bass Ranger team. If Dylan would be the honorary third, who are 2 other just not the characters themselves, but even like if you're like, I would take this mantle and just make my own character, who would you fill out your personal team with?
Well, Red Dino Thunder is my all-time favorite Ranger. And I haven't anything with him. But the first Power Ranger script I ever wrote was about Connor. So I gotta go Connor. So is that? That's Sam, Jackson, Connor, Dylan. And then for the 5th one, Solaris Knight. I think that'd be crazy power. And then I wouldn't have to suck in if I was Solaris Knight. I'd be all armored up.
You just go Endgame Thor on it. You're like, nah, he's seasoned. That's just all his power.
Yeah, that's if he didn't fight for a while and just had a bunch of beer. That's
No, you need to write in that his lamp is his battle armor, so that's why it's so round in the front.
That'd be great.
It's extra magic protection. Like, you guys don't get it.
It's just armor. It's not fat or anything.
No, that's what I've been doing with when we were talking about drinks before. I'm just, waiting for anybody who needs bulk or any of his lineage. That's just the typecast I'm waiting for,
That's what I'm saying. They've been really leaning into Bulk and Skull on like Legacy Wars on the app and the comic books. They're popping up, and I even saw this Instagram page followed me, messaged me, and they are doing like a live action version of Bulk and Skull and their Purple and Orange Ranger.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where are you guys located? I'd love to have you guys on here. So you better start getting some purple clothes. You can kill it.
It's blue. I'm starting blue. It's got to be subtle. I can't just dive in purple. Otherwise, they're like, you're trying too hard. So
right.
That's what I'm going for. Taking another quick look to see if there's any new things in chat. Psycho Orange asked, are you going to be in Power Rangers Unworthy because Omega appears at episode 4 at the end?
Yes, as far as I know, Jordan has a big plan. I don't know it yet, but I voiced Omega in Ep 3, and I should be voicing him in Ep 5, and I've offered any hologram things, to have my face in it. But yeah, as far as I know, but like we've discussed this whole live, it's, things are always up in the air. But I hope Jordan still has me, because Unworthy is a huge part of why I am where I am, and I say that being very grateful because I love everything we've done.
Do you know if both of you guys are going to be at Morphicon this year, so you actually get to have the in-person team up I'm sure you've been itching for?
Yeah, so we've talked about it for a while. I tried to get him out to Ranger Legacy too, but he'll be at Morphicon. I'll be at Morphicon, and I'm going to try to assemble our teams. But it'd be great. It'd be so great to film something. But we'll at least, get some pictures and do a panel.
Yeah. Another question we have here. Have you talked to Jason Chan about him joining the extended universe? For those who don't know, that's Samurai Green from.
So he's far away, but
yeah.
I know that I believe he got the link sent to him, and he watched, as much as you want to watch a First Ninja. But no, I saw that he was in his suit for like a work meeting, which I thought was amazing. And now his son's like all gung-ho on it. But I would absolutely love to have him pop up in a Ninja Vision or something. But no, I've never talked to him. And I think the biggest strength is when other Legacy Rangers talk to other Legacy Rangers. But I do have one in my back pocket for the finale of Shattered Past that I haven't told anyone.
Yeah. I like your approach, by the way, of keeping the expectations tempered. And it's always easy for you to reach out and be like, do you guys want to do this? But if somebody else who's kind of in the same kind of situation goes, hey, this was awesome, you should do it, I feel like it does give a little bit more than like, hey, we'd really love you for this project. Because, yeah, I mean, of course you would. Who wouldn't, Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure they get a bunch of people, and no burden to anyone trying to start a project, but there's so many things announced that I never see come out. So I think that's another one of our strengths is like, hey, we have like 4 shows out, X amount of views, Real Rangers came back, please join this awesome thing, and you'll see how happy you make the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a regular Matt Roxy here. He's a bit late, but wanted to say hi. Hello. And then Nerdbot, can we bring a Ninja Turtle into Shattered Past? I think you answered that earlier, correct?
I want to. Yeah, we have a big finale scene that's going to touch base on the multiverse. And when I say multiverse, it's like everything that Power Rangers has crossed over with. I want to touch base on that. That'd be a really cool like montage scene. So yes, I'd love to have the Ninja Turtles in there.
Is it always nice when Nerdbot asks questions that are just teed up and you're like, yes, please, can we?
Yeah. I'm worried about what else they're going to say. So
you're just, every time I go, you're just like,
I hear Nerdbot and I'm like, okay, think.
One thing I wanted to ask, and you had brought it up earlier, is obviously, in the umbrella of things that you're doing, you're working on merch for Nerded Up. That's right? Is it Nerded Up or Nerded Up Now?
It's nerdupnow.com, but
Nerd Up Now. There we go. With that, what is your favorite item to wear from it that isn't Omega Ranger related?
Okay, so I got that custom white and blue SPD cadet suit that I want to work into the finale too. I have this really like cool, subtle Wind Ranger hat. It's just black with a red brim and just the like hawk symbol, on the chest right here. That's probably my favorite. I've bought 2 of them so far because I wore one out so much. So I love anything with that symbol. I have a hoodie with it on. I have a shirt with it. I love it. It's like, and only the real homies know. Oh, that's the Red Wind Ranger from Ninja Storm. And I'm like, So that's my favorite. But another close second is our in space stuff is just so cool. But I don't really have a reason to wear it. But all the Ninja Storm stuff I love, especially the Red Ranger. And then Omega is an obvious choice just because I love the VI.
For people who haven't purchased any of the clothing from you guys, how would you say it fits? Just because a lot of different companies have different kind of sizing scales that they would say, does it fit pretty close? Does it shrink? Is it baggy? How would you kind of describe it for people looking to get something from you guys?
I got a large jacket and it fit me just like a large jacket in America. So I'd say it fits pretty close to size. There's a size chart on there. And I was very pleased by that. And then I got a shirt and then I got a hat and everything has stayed true. I sweat through my first Wind Ranger hat too much because I wore it all the time. But yeah, everything's been great. And if it wasn't great, then I'd probably be pretty open with it about our manufacturer. But very pleasantly surprised, and I'm just going to get more and more, I'm sure.
Nice. That's always that catch-22 being on the West Coast of always wanting to wear like cool jackets with logos, and you're like, but it's nice, and I'm not
hot.
cold.
Yeah. I want to wear my Sam jacket to Ranger Legacy in June 4th.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to be miserable. Yeah, it'll look good for pictures, but I'm like, Omega Access, just dying.
You just got to have like 4 fans in front, so you have that like, classic Baywatch kind of situation. You're like, oh, I'm good now. Like, it's 100 degrees, but I have 4 industrial fans on me. This is pleasant. I can wear this all day.
Yeah, just a cool margarita in my hand,
Yeah, exactly. No, you gotta have it where it's gonna twist out of your morpher, and then you just tip each time.
Now we're talking, big dog. Now we're talking.
You need for the adults on the website, you need morpher flasks. That's the new thing the untapped market for Ranger fans.
I walked into one of our designers. His garage is full of like mixed crafts that he wants to like start pitching on Nerd Up, and I saw a big box full of flasks, and he wants to like laser cut the symbol into it, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. The lightning bolt, and that's it.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. So great idea, big dog. We're on it.
Hey, that, and then super glue, hot glue, whatever, a Velcro strap, and wearing it on your wrist. Something about it just gets us.
It's drinking time.
It's 5 o'clock. Ready. All right. You didn't say ready. We're not drinking it.
You know what has happened, right? You didn't say ready.
I loved that, by the way. I know we didn't touch on it earlier, but those little things that we've talked about for your stuff, I always love the way that you write humor because you learn from so many things that obviously you're a fan of like, why'd you guys force that joke? That was kind of just a bad joke. Whereas it's like, one, done, boom. And you don't, overstay your welcome with bad, like, comedy potential, which is great.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I love RPM because they'll grab the Power Ranger formula, poke fun at it, and then try to make it make sense, Yeah. So that's another funny thing. Not to dive too much into it, but that whole scene had to change because stop. Sorry, my dog's whining.
Oh, you're good.
The whole scene had to change because our actor forgot his morpher. So then I was like, no worries, we'll just have you not have your morpher. Sorry, you gotta get blasted by Inferno Ranger. Then the rest is fine. You'll try. But I thought it'd be funny to be like, TK just did his ready with Sam for the first time. Ready, But thank you for the kind words. And I always thought humor in Power Rangers, or at least our show, should be one, then move on.
One question you made me think of with that, obviously behind the scenes when you're producing everything with, a smaller team, there's a lot of improvisation. There we go. And a lot of things that need to change due to the circumstances. Prior to starting either this series or Reverse Flash or anything, do you have any experience with improv comedy? Because it seems like from all the stories you're saying, you're like, oh, we just do this. And it's like not even a thought. It's just like you're instinctually going down the path of least resistance. And you're like, this will work. Cool. And like MacGyvering everything really well.
No, I'm actually pretty scared of comedy, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think I don't even know when my first comedy thing. Like I've written some for some different things, and I never really went anywhere. I was always self-conscious about it. But it was really, yeah. In Reverse Flash, I never really told any jokes too. I was always brooding. This face, right? So when it comes to Power Rangers, Jackson was probably my first experience with it because I thought it'd be so cool where you're this wise ninja who's starting a school, and all you really care about is like, man, that sounds cool, that looks cool. I thought that was kind of the funny thing. And then Jack really warmed me up to like, you could play it one way for one sentence and then just lighten up for the next sentence. So it was the first line. It's a great question, Big Dog. That's a really great question. I never really thought about it. But it was when you guys were exiled from the Ninja Academy. And I'm like, should we call it outlawed? I mean, that just sounds cooler, right?
Yeah.
That was probably my first comedic line in all of my acting career. So once I did that, I think I warmed up to it and I made Jackson really wise, but also kind of a goofball at the end of the day. Yeah. And then with Sam, I think his impulsiveness and just like, we'll figure it out as we go was more of the comedic route. But then when us three were all in that cave together, that's when us three really started bouncing off each other and really deciding who we were going to be in this team up. But yeah, I'd say Jackson was the first one to warm me up to like, man, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can be a little funny in the right way.
Yeah.
I'm not slapstick or anything. I'll probably break my leg, but I can do a funny line once in a while.
No, I think it's a thing. You do a great job of really getting in the brains of your characters. Even, I mean, we're talking about two characters in the same universe, obviously played by you, obviously, look similar. There are differences, but the way that you can describe what they're thinking, what they're feeling, you get so immersed that I think maybe the hesitation before from the comedy aspect is it's Colin on stage by himself, Colin doing jokes, yay or nay. And there's no real like middle ground. Whereas that you're like, well, even if it doesn't go good, like this is, what Sam's doing, or this is what Jackson's doing, or Eobard or whoever. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's kind of my take from it, but do more comedy, man. You're solid.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I've played Sam for 6 episodes now, including Bloodline, and then Jackson for 4 of First Ninja and Rise. And I really try to go, all right, Jackson's a family man. He's just trying to do what's right. And then Sam's like, this is my job. I got to get it done. I think that's like where I really differentiate them. But I always try to even change my voice a little bit with both of them. But when it comes to the comedy, like Sam and Rain being like, I thought it'd be funny to kind of go like, man, this guy, he's had this power this whole time. Why didn't he just teleport, and really dive into the whole Sam acts like he knows what he's doing. He does not know what he's doing.
Fakes it until he makes it a lot.
Yeah. He's like Omega style. What's Omega style? He sucked, dude.
I don't know if it's written yet, but I feel like there's potential for a very good payoff of that phrase in Omega Force where he says it, it's very confident, and then it's like the coolest thing we've seen.
It's their morphing sequence. Omega style. We all morph.
No, that's when they do the casual beach day. Everybody morphs into, swimsuits. They go take some R&R, and then the big bad comes in. And it's like, again?
Exactly. Or the drinks pop up. Omega style. And he teleports them from the bar.
Yeah, right. No, that's what it is. They show up to the bar.
Still talking about Power Rangers.
No, they show up to the bar. They're ready to go in, and then timeline's breached again, Sam. We gotta head off. More for grid calls. But
Gaz, welcome back.
Thank you. There's a bunch of stuff in chat. Have you guys been watching it?
We have. We missed the last 3. We missed the 2 Matt comments, and then hello, Immortal Red Fox. Good to see you.
There you go.
Red Fox.
One thing I wanted to say. Obviously, everything you've done is properties and reinventing them and creating your own universe there. Are there any ideas?
That's not true. What about the solar one? I'm forgetting the name.
Solaris. Yeah.
Solaris. Thank you. That's original, isn't it?
You are 100% correct, and I forgot. There is Solaris we were so down the Power Ranger rabbit hole that I forgot about Solaris. So never mind. My question's invalid.
No.
Well, no, ask it anyway.
Please. So what I was going to say is there anything that is, your own project that you want to do, but I guess it segues to with Solaris is that with William moving, is that something that's also been paused, or is that something that we will get another episode in the future potentially?
We had it's so funny that kind of parallels the show, but I've always got a backup plan, just like Sam. I do have a funny story about how Solaris even started, if you guys want to hear it.
Please.
Okay, so it was COVID, and William, me, and a friend went up to my family's cabin up in Big Bear, and we're drinking tequila, we're hanging out in the jacuzzi, we're having a great time because we haven't had any social interaction, right? So we're quarantined, we're away from everyone, and we're just vibing. And it was just a real big bonding experience between Will and I. And he goes,
"Hey, and then he moved."
I'm still mad at him about that. And so he's like, "Hey man, my agent's asking, Rise is great, and this Power Rangers is great. Is there any original ideas you have?" And I go, "Yeah, I got one. Called Solaris, and I'm going to tell you the ending before I tell you the beginning." And he's like, "What?" And so I tell him the ending because I've always had the ending. Keep in mind, I created Solaris, the character, in 7th grade, way back. And I always thought I was going to play him, but it was so much better to have buff, famous William Sheffield. And so I pitched the idea to him. Will's like, "I'm down. What do we need to do?" And I was filming Bloodline the next day up in around Big Bear. And I was like, "I'm gonna pitch it to Elvin. If you're down to be the lead, I'll pitch this show the same way, and we'll go from there." And so we let's do a celebratory shot, and we do a shot. And then the next day, I'm feeling like shit, and I'm like, I'm gonna get Solaris accepted, and we're gonna get greenlit. I can guarantee it. So we're there on set for Bloodline, and on set, I mean, just in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And I mean, Christopher came in Lee. I was having a great time. I go over to Elvin, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Okay, I swear. I want to pitch you this idea, but I'm going to tell you the ending." And Elvin goes, "Yeah, I'm totally down. Let's do some original content. Maybe we can even do a comic book." And then he goes, "You want to know something ironic?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, this show is about the sun. You're being poisoned by the sun. You are bright red right now."
Was it easier to brood doing that scene when you were just super not feeling it?
No, I was there all day, big supporter. I also was a fan of Andros and Christopher Kim Lee, and I would just wanted to be there to support. But you guys saw it. I was on screen for maybe 60 seconds. I was there for 12 hours, but I wanted to be. So no hate to the production.
Was that side tangent? Was that the first time you had met Christopher Kim Lee?
Yes, and
how shocked were you how different he is from his character?
So shocked, but man, I dug his vibe. He dug mine. We drink together. It was super fun. And then, so first day he ever met me, he filmed his cameo for Shattered Past. So I'm like, this guy's amazing, right?
Yeah.
And Bloodline was such a different experience, which I think makes our extended universe so different. It's different teams doing different stuff. Yeah. And I loved how Bloodline turned out. And episode 2, June 4th at Ranger Legacy. It'll probably be online later. But I just had a blast. So 1, filmed with one of my childhood heroes. 2, got to be a part of another series that I was just stoked on. And 3, got Solaris greenlit. And so for Solaris now, sorry I'm rambling. We have a comic book coming out, and we have an Ep 2 starring King Vader, who is the big bad guy at the end.
Nice. That's awesome.
How is it working with Vader on kind of the content he's more known for? A lot of shorter films, a lot of just hyper action or story focused in a short amount of time. I know you played why am I blanking on his name from The Boys? Not Superman.
Homelander.
Oh, thank you, Homelander. How is it doing that? And you've done anime related content with him as well, correct?
No, I haven't. I think we've just done Solaris and then that one.
Okay. How is doing the Homelander kind of boys video with him, and how is it, a big change of pace going full blown bad for you?
So I approached Vader through Will to be in Solaris, and then he kind of acted me with an offer to be Homelander. I think it was around the same week, because I remember I just so happened to be in LA, I think for Solaris. So it was kind of like a you help me, I help you. So
That's an awesome trade, though. Like, that's not the same. It's like, I'll give you a ride to the airport if you move these boxes. It's like, hey, do this cool thing, and I'll do that cool thing. Like,
there's nothing wrong. But when I got there, it was all these people I've watched in his videos for years, right? So I'm just like, hi, Doc. Hi, Minicon. Hi, Pierre. Hi, Irving. You know, like, it was really cool for me. But it went over like that. It was so quick. And then I can't dance. So he was like, keep dancing. And I'm like, and then it was over. But so that was really quick, really fast. And then we got out. And then for Solaris, it was, you know, a whole scene, a whole sequence. We had to do all the VFX and stuff. So it just felt like that. His short amount of time in the episode felt way longer.
Right.
And then mine, I was there for a while, but it was just so much fun and it just flew by. And then since then, we've had meetings with Vader about where to go with Solaris and if he would be our new lead, et cetera, et cetera. And I just really like that guy. He's so humble. All his success has not changed him at all. And we just nerd out on the car rides. We always drive together and we just nerd out about everything that's come out. Mandalorian, anime, superheroes, anything. So it's very different. It was awesome. It was great.
That's really cool.
Nice.
There's a question in chat which maybe had been answered when I was gone, but it seems relevant to having Colin here, obviously. I'll read it. Are Landon, Quantum, and Blue Time Force the only Time Force Ranger we will see? Anyone besides Landon coming back? We need more Quantum, please. Crying emoji. So they're looking for spoilers, basically.
Yeah. So I would say that those are the three we have figured out. Mm-hmm. But there's always, you know, with time travel, anything could happen. So I'll say we have those three Rangers figured out with weapons and accessories and jackets and stuff. So yes, to all three of those, they are coming back. But there's always the option of someone coming into our life or another actress that would be perfect for yellow or pink. So I would say never. There might be something around the corner.
You know, speaking of people coming in and out of your life, especially in terms of legacy actors, because I don't know what, you know, actors you happen to know personally, but I was thinking, I know he's somewhat local and he's done some fan films, and not that I'm friends with him, but I've met him and he's a super nice guy. Brennan Mejia from Dino Charge. Have you ever thought about working with him?
Yeah, I thought for a second, it was at Comic-Con where I saw you guys. I thought I had dibs on him because he grabbed me for a story.
Right.
And I was in kind of party con mode. I was so happy that Comic-Con. Then I'm like, yeah, what's up, Brennan? I already knew him.
Yeah.
He grabs me for this video and he was like, Colin, if sorry, what was his character's name in
Tyler.
Tyler. If Tyler was to hop in the extended universe, what would he do? And I was like, dude, we do a full Dino Charge episode. We'd make anything you want. You'd be the sequel, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like spouting out these like cool ideas for a sequel to Dino Charge. Mm-hmm. Then DJ sees it and DJ's like, yeah, I already got a plan for him for Bloodline. I'm like, I thought I had. But if I know DJ, he's got something really cool planned. He pulled Rory Travis out of nowhere from Beast Morphers. And I was like, when did that happen? I met him once when he was at the Nerdbot house.
Right.
And then I was kind of like, man, if I charm this guy, maybe he'll be in Shattered Past. And then DJ's like, yeah, I got him for Ep2 of Bloodline. I was like, good for you, pal.
Yeah. And that's crazy too, because I don't know if this is accurate or not, but the vibe I get is that the actors that are more recently coming off the show are usually not as easy to get for whatever reason. That's the vibe you sort of get. Like when you had Will Schufeller, like, oh, that seems pretty recent, you know, like to have him doing it. But like, yeah, like Beast Morphers, I feel like it was just on yesterday and he's already like doing stuff like.
Yeah, I was surprised too. And, you know, I don't know the contracts or anything, but I know that these amazing actors, and, you know, we're all big fans of the fandom. They wouldn't be doing this if it was going to like shoot them in the foot, so to speak. Because I've seen Brendan and other fan stuff too, but he still came back for the big reunion in Beast Morphers. So there's, you know, I don't know the rules exactly, but we have Hunter, Dino, and Chance at Ranger Legacy this year. You bet your ass and try to get them in our show. You know, the newer ones are tougher because there probably are some legal issues. Right. But it's really just, do these people even want to reprise their role? David Yost was really specific about not wanting to be Billy. He wanted to be someone. So that's where I brought in the multiverse and created Warlord Vex.
Sure, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
One question when somebody brought up Quantum, was that an Easter egg that Quantum's from Edenoi with the little? Okay, good.
And it's a full plot point. There's a big part of the episode in Ep 6 that we already filmed with him, where his ability to see the future is a big part of where we are in the episode.
Gotcha. Okay.
Without
again, sorry if this has been repeated, but this beta formation from Elijah White was literally stepping aside to make room for our commander. This is the actor.
Yeah.
At least of my, because we I was like, that was a weird formation to just step to the left like that. But so is that canon that's why they did it, or is this sort of retconning it to make more sense?
Well, that's how we explained it. Now, we were really limited on time.
Right.
That tunnel obviously wasn't ideal for lighting and everything. Like, I could go on and on about the BTS of it all. But when we were forming it all, it was like they're all lined up like this. Beta formation sounds cool, but it was just steps aside to make room for quantum. It could be like, cadets move. And then it probably, you wouldn't even notice it. Hey, they moved. The beta formation sounds like they've done it before.
Right.
So I thought it sounded cooler, but I mean, one step to your left or right doesn't really make a full beta formation worth it. Like, wouldn't beta formation be something more epic? Sure.
That's what I thought.
Cadets move outward. I was trying to make it as special as I could for our Patreons.
Gotcha.
That would have been a good Sam call out. Everybody move slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had enough trouble doing this. Ready?
Oh my God. We total tangent, but Big Dog and I, when we first started doing Action Activate, like 2-3 years ago, we'd filmed a bunch of stuff to make an opening, which we didn't end up using.
About that.
But we were like making up our own morphs and stuff, and we could not do it at the same time. It took forever. And I have a Japanese version of the in space morpher with the battleizer. Then I decided that was I'd make the battleizer my morpher.
That was a bad idea.
It was a terrible idea because we were filming outside and it kept falling off my wrist. So this $100 morpher has scratches all over it.
Oh.
And we didn't even use the footage, so it was a heartbreaking thing.
Yeah, morphers are tricky because as far as we know, we'll never get a chance to get a new one that's not $500, right?
Right.
Like,
I just want to get a new. Yeah.
This is my second Omega morpher because of all the battle damage from the ship.
Which is why they usually have the hero prop and the stunt prop. But when you're an idiot, you use the hero prop as the stunt prop.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. Oh, I mean, if that's how you feel, Desmond, that's how you feel. I think we wouldn't have an episode 6 that's as fun. But
it would have just been a stun. So we could have had how do you bust them out of jail or whatever.
Well, the Quantum Defender, I don't know if that has a stun. The little Chrono Blasters,
okay.
Owie, but
that would have been one of those animated how it should have ended. Hey, stop or I'll shoot you. Hang on, guys. Boom. Credits.
Let me just say one thing. I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
and that was to I remember you guys saying about the back and forth thing. It was like, yeah, I'm a no nonsense dude. Stop. No, you're wrong. Blah, blah. And then Sam's like trying to be a little more charming, more charismatic.
Right.
It kind of worked a little bit, but I think looking back on it, that was one I definitely agree with you guys where it should have been. Let me say one thing and then it goes to it. And
I was even fine, with the one attempt that failed. Right. But it was just, it did like, it made me think of you had a few different ideas and wanted to use them all. It's just what it felt like.
I thought that, he would get shot down first, but then maybe where he's like, I'll explain everything. And then Quantum's like, I do want some explanations. So that's where my head was. But going back, I probably would have cut off the first one.
Okay. Gotcha. Nice. I'm just going to point out that we're at an hour and 8 minutes. So Colin, we didn't talk about how long we want to do this, but it's been going for a while, even though I left and came back and it's still going. So not trying to end the fun, but I am acknowledging that it's been a while if you need to get going, dude.
No, your guys' call. I came home from doing Anime Riverside stuff to do this. So I've had a blast. You guys want to wrap it up? Or if you have any more questions?
You want to do two more questions, maybe?
Let's do it.
All right. Big Dog, you got one?
Mine's more of like a wrap-up question, but we can start it here. So we brought up Anime Riverside a lot, and we brought up other events that you've done. Why don't we take this time to shamelessly promote the events coming up and tell everybody how to get to them, what they're about, and you're the man behind the curtain, so let us know.
Yeah, this stuff is wired in my head. Are you ready for this? Let's see if I can.
Please.
All right. What's up, guys? Colin from Anime Riverside here to tell you about the convention we have June 4th and 5th at the Riverside Convention Center. Not only is it an anime convention, we have a Power Rangers fan area within, returning Rangers, extended universe Rangers, photo ops, giveaways, so much more. We're having the biggest Naruto reunion panel that I've ever seen. A free after party, Pokemon the movie, food trucks, a carnival, live music, and so much more. Make sure you guys check it out at animeriverside.com. Get your tickets today, and I hope I see you June 4th and 5th at the Riverside Convention Center.
Well done, sir.
I felt it, the only thing that was missing was like at the end, like an action activator. You needed some stinger. Yeah, but
like Omega Access.
Yeah, there you go. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If you send me, I mean, I can look stuff up, but if you any links you want to send me, I'll put in the notes in this video so people can find them easily.
Thank you.
And then, well, before I get to the final question, I'm just going to publicly say, I said this offline, but you need to do an intro for us. And I'm saying this publicly so everyone hears you commit to it and just an action. Yes. I'm going to check if anybody has a question here.
One follow-up question while you're looking. We've talked about pretty much every fandom that you like except for anime. So I'm curious, other than Naruto, what are some of your go-tos? I know I've been trying to get back into anime a bit more, and there's like 3 series that I've watched. So what do you like? What do you recommend? And kind of give us that side of Colin.
So I'm pretty stuck in the Toonami era.
Yes, thank you.
To be honest. I just not found a newer anime that I've really attached myself to. So Naruto's probably my go-to that I'll rep without people thinking I'm a crazy person. But the one that holds true in my heart, 31 years of existence, is Digimon. I still love Digimon.
Big Dog, don't you have some like high-end Digimon figures?
I do.
I do too.
I actually, over the last, I want to say 6 months, one of my buddies who, short tangent, he's gotten out of card games multiple times, and then he's like, hey, I'm not playing Magic the Gathering anymore. You know, you should kind of play Magic the Gathering. And then 15 years of my life was gone there. And then recently he's like, hey, there's a new Digimon game. Like, do you want to try these starter decks with me? So now I play Digimon, and been a big fan. All right, what is your favorite series? And this will tell me a lot about you.
So I love Adventure 2 because I just love the new Armored Digivolve. But if I was to like really oh, my girlfriend's watching, says but if I was really to like, let's say I was showing Shelby a Digimon thing. I showed her the Digimon the movie, which has, you know, all adventure series. But I have a soft spot for season 4, Frontier.
Dude!
I love that they can turn into the Digimon. Oh, see, we got you right there.
Oh,
but,
man.
Yeah,
all right.
he's my favorite. And ironically enough, Vmon's my favorite Digimon and Digivolution like lineup. And I got to interview / meet Brian Donovan, who's the voice of Davis.
Okay.
And joking, I was like, you and I are gonna be best friends because you're my favorite, right? And then so we DM a little bit about Anime Riverside and like, you know, different things like that. And he started calling me C, and I really like that I have like a nickname with Davis. So yeah, that's another one. So that's Digimon. So Naruto, Digimon, DBZ, you know, blah blah, all those Toonami ones.
My wife has a Naruto tattoo, just so you know.
You do? What do you have?
My wife does.
Oh, your wife does. What does she have?
She has young Naruto, like just blasting like on her whole whole bicep.
Awesome. But I guess the more recent one is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay.
I've heard so many good things about that.
Yeah, so I watched Full Metal Alchemist like late night on Toonami, like Adult Swim. Yeah. And I was like, this is good, but it only had like 52 episodes, and it did the movie. And even then I was still kind of like underwhelmed. But I still loved it. And then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood came out and did everything I wish the original anime did. So
I have a buddy that has a Full Metal Alchemist tattoo, and he says the same thing. He's like, I liked the show. Then I saw Brotherhood, and it was like, this is the show. Like,
yeah. So for the Anime Riverside, it's a lot of Naruto voice actors. That's great. But then I was looking at their IMDb credits. I'm like, you guys know we have 4 different people that were in the Digimon movie back in 2000. It's the 22-year anniversary. Elvin, please let me do a Digimon reunion panel, please. Yeah. It's the anniversary. And Elvin's like,
I love that stuff.
Yes. And I was like, yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, and that's good for you as a fan, but also that's just good marketing. Like, why would you not do that? Like, yeah.
Yeah, and another great thing is we have Lex Lang, who was Ecliptor and Zanaku in Power Rangers.
Oh yeah.
He was also War Greymon and Omnimon in Digimon. So just 4 bangers of roles to play, and I'm like, why aren't we leaning on the Power Ranger side of him too? So we made form and everything. But yeah, when it comes to anime, I'm kind of unfortunately stuck back in the Toonami era, but I'm always trying new ones too. I tried Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, My Hero. Just nothing really stuck with me. Oh, and I love Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I never. That is obviously anime, but I always think of that as like its own special thing out there. You know,
Disney anime.
Yeah.
It's like there's animation and then there's Pixar and there's
someone
Disney.
that would never watch anime would watch a Miyazaki film. Is basically
exactly.
Oh, and I totally now have completely forgot the question I was going to ask you.
Because all of his Digimon answers were spot on. That's the only reason why.
No, I'm to be crucified. I don't know anything about Digimon. Like, I kind of remember it was on, and I'm like, oh, and isn't there Pikachu, like a small orange Tyrannosaurus Rex? That's where my mind goes. So
you're right
I
on that.
apologize.
That was more offensive to me than your Overdrive clip that you always play. I'll be honest.
Well, I know. I said it that way to show how little I know. You know what I mean? I like literally. I could recognize the character. War Greymon. I've seen figures. Like, I could recognize them, but I don't think I ever watched an episode for some reason. Not that I have a negative association. Just
if I could suggest one thing, watch it with your kiddo. It's on YouTube. It's the full Digimon movie, and they wrote it for kids, but also like it was my friend's dad that brought me to go see the movie, and he was like, I don't know what was going on, but I had a good time. Like,
right, so it's accessible.
Yeah, but it's for free on YouTube, and it has 90s soundtrack. You got Bare Naked Ladies, Less Than Jake, Smash Mouth, all these different things.
Less Than Jake.
And it's 3 different Japanese movies combined into one movie. So you get a little like kaiju attacking the city. You get a little cutesy pootsy Digimon. Then you get a big final fight. Like, trust me, give that a shot. It's only like an hour and minutes.
All right, I'll do it for you, buddy. Thanks, buddy. I forgot my real question, so I'll give you a softball. I don't know how much you guys talked about Star Wars. Obviously, you've been involved in The Mandalorian and Qui-Gon and all that stuff. If you were a Jedi, what color lightsaber would you have? Or would you have a lightsaber? Would you have the dark saber? Would you have some other thing? Would you have a staff? You know, what would your thing be?
I wrote a big script that never happened about the first person to use the dark saber. You know, the first ever Jedi / Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would want to say that, but I literally just wrote that because no one had done it, and that's why. But this is a really lame story, but I'll tell you guys the honest truth. It was Little Big Planet 2. Have you guys ever played that game?
I haven't played it, but I know of it.
So people can make their own levels, right?
Right.
And they did a Star Wars level, and it could like pick your own lightsaber color and your own handle and stuff. It was very intricate for such a little like platform. Yeah. But I made this really sick black handle lightsaber with a white beam. I loved it, and I thought that was so cool. It would match any type of outfit you had on. So I'm gonna go white.
Nice.
It has like kind of whitish blue, but I just go like piercing white. I think that's
right. That's awesome.
That's definitely
I like the backstory, to be honest. As you're just like white, like, all right, anyway. Like, it'd be a boring answer.
No, it was a little sack boy and a little bit with one.
Nice.
I like that. That looked good.
Have you made a lightsaber at Disneyland yet or no?
No, I went for my birthday back in 2019 and I went through Star Wars Land, but I didn't do it. But now my girlfriend and I have a little fund of like tuck away money because we want to go to Disneyland and do that and build a lightsaber.
I think I went to Disneyland for my birthday in 2019. What month is your birthday?
November.
October. Very close.
Ooh, very close.
I got engaged there in September.
But it wasn't the same year. It wasn't for your birthday.
It was 2019.
Oh yeah. That's crazy. Wait.
Yeah, and I did a lightsaber then.
Damn. That's awesome.
Wow,
not to give anybody ideas. She got a ring that is an undisclosed amount, and I got a lightsaber. So similar but different.
It's a little balanced.
Yeah.
Normally at the end here, we would say, hey, what do you want to plug? But you kind of gave us your plugs already. So again, send me whatever links. We'll put them below so people can find them in case they didn't, write down when you were speaking. But otherwise, thank you so much for coming on and nitpicking us, because that shows that you cared enough to nitpick us.
We love you guys. The extended universe legit loves you guys. We always... When we're at the Nerdbot house and a new Action Activate comes out about one of our shows, we watch it together. You guys are
fantastic. And
we love to hear that. And we've talked to a lot of people on the show. some people multiple times now, present party included, but I like how when it comes to things that are sometimes less optimal, like obviously, to be fair, we need to say the things we like and the things we don't. And I love how receptive you are of like, here's why I did it, for better or worse. Like, for example, the tunnel scene, I'm like, this lighting is not great, unfortunately.
Like, you're not gonna just make stuff up and explain why it should be perfect. Yeah, no, that's
you guys are solid and real. Same here. So I'm glad it's all working out, and I hope we get to share a beverage and some time with you guys. Hopefully in 2022, if not, then in the future for sure.
I guess you already discussed. There's a chance Big Dog and I might go to Morphicon. Is there any chance you're going to that or?
Yeah, I'll be there. I actually ran into Scott Zillner, the Mac Daddy of Morphicon, and he said that if there's anything that we need there, all I really want is an Extended Universe panel. But otherwise, I'll be there, and I'll kind of see who's going to be assemble a team for the panel if we do it. But yes, I'll be there, and I'll see you guys at the bar across the street.
Yes, I'm going to Morphicon either way. Gazbot is still up in the air, but. Yeah, so you'll see me regardless, but
there you go.
Hopefully
you got one half of the team. I mean, the lesser half, but one half of the team.
You're awesome.
All right, so thanks again for coming on. And I've been Gazbot.
Still Big Dog, and you are?
Colin K. Bass, a.k.a. the Omega Ranger from Power Rangers.
And
to the power.
To the power.
To the power. Bye, guys.
Colin, if you want, you can talk over the credits. You don't have to, but sometimes
that's what the real activators do.
You got to unmute your own mic, though. I can't do it for you.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So thank you guys. I'm going to turn this off and film that video for
you. Ooh, okay. If you're going to leave, I think that's a valid excuse.
Oh, did you guys want to hang out? The party?
I got nothing to do but clean around the house and put some action figures up.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I'm gonna go eat a pizza and feel bad about myself for doing it.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm gonna stop the broadcast.
They're awesome.